Okay, it's Sunday morning. It's about 37, 38 degrees right now. It's sunny. It's supposed to get warmer today. We have a lot of ice on the ground, especially in the woods. But I'm guessing around noontime it's going to be pretty muddy and pretty messy out there. I've got a friend coming over to help me today. I've got a few things planned. First thing I'm going to do is I got a couple trees over here. I'm going to definitely take one down today. It's a black cherry. And then I also have another tree. I believe it's an aspen. Both trees are eventually going to die, if not dead already. For the fact that as I walk up on them here, you can see the split top of the cherry. The tree around the corner also has a pretty good sized split top. So water's getting down in between the trunks, which more than likely is going to rot them from the inside out, make them unsafe. So I like to get those down sooner than later. Okay, before we get started on that cherry tree, I wanted to show you a few things. This area right here is actually where I want to put my pole barn. Hopefully this year, probably likely next year. But bottom line, I need to make sure I get that area cleared. I like to get it done before the spring. This area over here is kind of where I store all my firewood and also process it. I've got a parking spot over there in gravel too. I've got about 5 cords of wood here, which is about 15 ricks. I burn my own wood, and then I also sell a little bit as a side hustle. The area to the back of the house there is actually about 4 to 5 acres of woods, and we'll get into those a little bit later. So I'm with the Echo CS-490. It's a good chainsaw. It's got a 5-year warranty compared to the competitors, and it seems like it's got a lot of power. Don't know a lot about chainsaws other than it's worked well for me for the last 4 years. I'm no expert when it comes to cutting down trees. I try my best. I learn a little bit on YouTube and from others, but for the most part, I know enough to get the job done normally in a safe manner. As you can see here, I'm making the base cut on this tree. I'm trying to get a wedge taken out of it so I can drop it in a safe area. It's already got a little bit of a lean, it's hard to see from the video, to my right here. So I'm just going to take it where it should want to go. I do have other lower trees in the area that are probably going to prevent it from falling. Well, you can see that cherry tree is hung up. There's a small little buckeye that prevented it from falling. So I'm just simply going to knock down the buckeye tree, which is, as you can see, it drops the cherry tree. That buckeye tree is growing kind of in a tight little area right next to another tree. So by removing it, it's probably going to do more good than bad. So this cherry tree, it's about 25 to 30 feet in height. Yeah, the diameter on it's about 14 to 16 inches, so it's a pretty good sized trunk. I've got about 20 feet of good usable trunk. The branches are usually just burnt, but this trunk, I probably won't use this as firewood. This will probably be used as a smoking wood to cook pork and chicken in the smoker. The reason why I'm putting in those 16-inch pieces is because the splitter, it can handle up to 24, I think, but at 16 inches, they're pretty manageable to actually carry and move until I can get them splitted. As you can see, the Echo chainsaw is having no problem getting through this. The base of the trunk was much more wet. just separated the usable trunk from the branch part of the tree. Like I stated earlier, the branches are likely going to be burnt at a later date, maybe a summer bonfire or something like that. But this trunk is what I'm really interested in at this point. You can see I used the jack. I don't remember the exact terminology, or well, I guess the name of the jack. I'll put it in the description once I find it. But this thing is a phenomenal tool. It's almost, you gotta have this. It's helped me out dramatically. What it does, it raises that log off the ground so I can finish the cut without putting my chain in the dirt. Putting a chainsaw in the dirt will dull that chain extremely quick. And it's not expensive to replace the chains, but it's definitely more of a pain than it's worth. The longer you can keep the chain on, the better. I've got 3 or 4 chains now. They probably all need sharpened. This is a fairly new one here. It's coming to the end of life too. But I figured I'd at least use it for this tree, maybe that other tree, and then probably go take all 4 down to the local Tractor Supply and get them sharpened. You can see I'm just finishing the last few pieces of this tree. My buddy's expected to be here any minute now. What we'll do is we'll end up carrying these right across the little driveway. Well, we got the cherry tree moved over to the splitter, and my friend went out to the woods. He's standing by out there. He's going to help me load these big rounds into the front bucket of the tractor. The tractor's a Kubota B2650. It's a small tractor, but bigger than the smallest. Does a phenomenal job, actually. I couldn't have done a lot of things that I've done without it. The front end loader's great. I've got a box blade that goes on the back of it, and I also mow with it. I don't have the deck on right now, but it does take a little time to mow the front yard. It's about 3 acres up there, but I enjoy being outside, so it's not anything that I dread doing. So as you can see, I'm on a path. I've got a trail that wraps through the woods. I got about 5 acres of woods, maybe 4.5. A lot of big trees out here, a lot of little ones too. But it's pretty cool in the middle of the winter when you can actually see everything that's out here, what's down, what needs to be taken down, and just the land in general. Midsummer, you can't see anything in here. It's completely dark. The vegetation grows up, and most of my work in the woods is done in the wintertime. It's just easier to work in. You can see the amount of water we've had recently. It's rained a lot. It's all ice right now, so that's why I wanted to make sure we got out here before noon to get these big logs out before it got too muddy. Now you can see my friend's here. He's helping me load these rounds up into the front bucket. These things weigh a ton. I'm glad he's here to help me. What we're doing is we're going to move these rounds up to the front. We're going to have about 6 or 7 loads of these, get them to the splitter, and then start working them from there. Boy, there's something to be said about having woods and working the woods. It's not easy. It's constant work. But days like this, even in February in Indiana, are phenomenal. So let's talk about the splitter I have. It's a piece of work, alright. Bought it on Facebook Marketplace for $300 cash, and it's made its money and then some. Not had any problems with it. Works like a champ. It's homemade. It's built like a tank. It's old school, but it gets the job done. Here's the first appearance of my smoker. It's a Yoder offset smoker. It burns wood from the property. It's a Wichita. I've had it for over a year now. I really enjoy cooking on it. Here you see a couple racks of spare ribs. Gonna run half of a rack to my dad's, and the others will eat tonight for dinner. It's a really enjoyable hobby. It's fun to do when I'm working outside. I can kind of keep an eye on it, and then also work outside in the yard. So as you can see here, it only burns wood. It's challenging, it's fun. Okay, so we've given the splitter about 10 minutes to warm up, and we're beginning to split some of the 16-inch logs that we brought up from the back, and then also the ones we brought from the cherry. He's got a log of cherry on there right now, and we're splitting into small sticks. Stick meaning smaller than a portion you would do for, say, a fireplace. The reason why they're smaller is because we use those in the smoker, and the smoker seems to handle the smaller pieces better than the larger pieces. And cherry wood is much more desirable when it comes to smoking meat than most other woods out there. Now that tree in the back that we picked off the ground, that was a blowover due to a storm. It's a hickory, which hickory is also great for smoking meat. It works well with pork and chicken, but also beef items too. So both these woods are really good for that type of purpose. Now what he's got on there right now is an oak log from earlier in the month. Now oak I do burn in the fireplace mainly. I do smoke it sometimes, but for the most part these logs are a little weathered. So if it's not perfect, then we normally don't smoke it. We just make it firewood. So back to the splitter. It's works well. I've had it for 4 years. It's got a flat tire on one side. It pretty much stays right there. Like I said, I've never had a problem with it. The mice will like to chew on the wire sometimes, which is pretty much caused me to jump it now. But for the most part, like I said earlier, it does the job. It's cheap. It's got a 22 horse Briggs & Stratton on it, so you know, it's got plenty of power. Occasionally it has a hard time getting through some walnut, but you know, it is what it is. Now you see me here, I'm loading up the buck and I'm getting ready to move the sticks of cherry to a firewood rack around the corner, and I'm also going to move some of this in the garage to keep it dry. You know, I truly enjoy having woods, but like I said earlier in the video, it is a lot of work. It's non-stop work just to keep the area looking good. The amount of money I get from the wood, it rarely covers the expense and labor needed to do the job. But the opportunity to be outside, enjoying the little things in life, is really why I like to do it.